Hello world, good morning. This is Joia and I'm so delighted you're back for the One Idea segment. This is the segment of the show where we take one idea that can potentially have a huge impact on your life and business as an entrepreneur and start to explore it, start to see how it might be able to shift your world. So today we're exploring the idea of judgment and judgment as a critical entrepreneurial skill. I was inspired here by Naval Ravikant and his podcast, which I absolutely love. It's one that I certainly follow, specifically his series on how to get rich. And in that series, which is a bunch of short little insights that you can pick up in these bite-sized format, one of his key ideas is this concept of judgment. And he refers to judgment as the decisive skill. So he looks at several different important skills for entrepreneurs to develop. For example, he talks about taking accountability, developing specific knowledge, getting leverage. That's really our goal as we're starting out as entrepreneurs, is to be getting leverage, whether it's through our products or the media that we're putting out there, getting followers, getting traction. But then there's this big question, once we have leverage, what do we do with it? And this is where he stresses this idea of judgment. He makes this analogy to steering a ship, that once your ship is so huge, the risk is greater, but also the demands are greater. And what's required here to do well is judgment. And he comes up with what I think is a very useful definition of judgment that we can start off with here. He describes judgment as knowing the long-term consequences of your actions. This focus on the long term. Because if we're going to be successful as entrepreneurs and in our lives as a whole, we want to be thinking long term. We want to be planning long term. We want to be developing what he loves to refer to as the compound interest in our relationships, our values, throughout our life. So the question I have for you is, how can you develop your skill of judgment so that once you do have an entrepreneurial venture that has taken off, that's building, that you can continue to grow it successfully? How can you develop your skills in long-range thinking, long-range planning? Naval suggests perhaps diving deep into history or philosophy. He also makes the important point about how you want to be doing various iterations. Because what judgment ultimately comes down to is not just your intellect, but combining intellect with real world experience. Because the real world is always so much more complex than the intellectual models and the theoretical models that we often try to make. And we want to be able to anticipate that complexity and build it into our long-range thinking, build it into our judgment. So what are you doing today that can help you not only with the intellect, but with the real-world experience, so that you have this capacity for judgment to make the most of your business and your life? Let me know your thoughts. I'm looking forward to hearing how you are developing your skill of judgment. See you all next time. Thanks for joining us today. Please don't forget to subscribe, review, and share this show. If you'd like exclusive content and behind-the-scenes insight, for just $4 a month, you can support us at buymeacoffee.com. Now, go make it a great day. Ask me why.